children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Children of the night, welcome to Final Guys.
Oh.
Let's see who we got here tonight. We've got Maurice. What?
Maurice Chevalier.
Chevalier?
Thank heaven for little girls. The French singer. That was the bad guy in Red Rooms. Like every time they said Chevalier, that song went in my head.
I prefer pronouncing it Chevrolet.
That works for me. Chevrolet.
There we go.
8mm.
Just my favorite movie in this genre.
I just saw my nephew this at dinner time, and as he was jumping in an Uber to go back to LA, he was asking me for some movie recommendations, and I was like, "Have you ever seen 8mm?" It's like, "No." I said, "Watch that."
Prepare to be depressed.
It's maybe the best name of the night, Snuffleupagus.
My favorite character in the genre.
And I'm Red Rum, because this movie's about Red Rums.
Nice.
So, our movie tonight is a French-Canadian movie called Red Rooms, which is pretty dark subject matter. So we'll get to that in a little while. I made these guys watch a subtitled dark as hell movie. Can't wait to see if they love me or hate me for it.
You sure
The
did.
2-hour one.
2 hours?
Yeah.
I warned everybody ahead of time.
Was not happy about that runtime.
However, what's new in the world of you guys? So happy Thanksgiving to everybody, first of all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm sure, Jason, you're traveling. You always travel on Thanksgiving.
Yes, I love Thanksgiving. The problem is I have to cram 7 days of work into 2 so that I can celebrate the holiday. So the moment we finish tonight, I have hours and hours of editing ahead of me. Score.
Oh, is your liver prepared? What do you
I'm
do?
I'm priming it right now. So.
Nice. We're hosting, and we only have a few people coming over, so it's going to be nice and easy.
Very nice.
I have 2 announcements, I guess. One is there's a limited hardcover signed edition, limited to 100 copies for Bruce's on a Butterfly that just went on sale. I don't even know if the announcement's been made. I'm not on the internet very much. I think it has because people have been buying it anyway. So you can get it at cemeterydance.com. It is not a Cemetery Dance book. It's a Thunderstorm book, so you don't have to worry about not getting your pre-order, because I know Cemetery Dance people are still waiting up to 10 years for some of the books that they've pre-ordered. So I've been reassured if you order this book, you will have it within a few weeks. So, yeah. And then the other one is there's just as of 2 hours ago, new Creepy Couch. It's been a few weeks. Been super busy writing this novelization thing. So yeah, finally up.
What's the movie?
Yeah, it's one that I'm talking about tonight.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I had my unboxing video, as you guys know. I'll grab the top 3 movies I have not added to my database yet.
Oh, Lord.
I got Black Shampoo. Hell yeah.
That's
No idea. Blaxploitation. I got The Ultimate American Gladiators Workout. So that's exciting.
Oh, man.
And I got
Wow.
Devil's Story. Do you guys know that one? On Blu-ray?
That looks
Something
awesome
from
cover.
Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So I got stuff like that, and I also wanted to tell everyone my Thursday episode, my Thanksgiving edition episode of So Bad It's Good, is Steven Seagal Bingo, where we play bingo while watching a Steven Seagal movie, trying to identify all the bullshit he always has, like turning fatly, driving while looking constipated, horrible green screen, Trumpian spray tan, and more. So Thursday will be a big day.
That is
Wow.
beautiful.
Yes.
Trumpian
I'm going to applaud
spray
that before we
And
start.
I gave away the winner. I have 3 copies of Steven Seagal's book that people sent me, so the winner got one of those. So now I don't
Nice.
have it.
Dude, if you wanted to be the winner, you should have given all 3 to the winner.
if I want to be the winner, I'm going to burn my house down with me in it.
All right. Now, what are the drinking words for tonight?
Let's bring it on. You know the rules. We say the words. You drink the thing. Turpentine is especially good this time of year. Jack, if he says the words elevate, hacker, or Canada, you got a drink. Does Canadian work too? You said French Canadian. That's a drink. My words are French, model, and trial. Jason's are dark web and auction. Mr. Lutsky, artificial. Tubi, no chance they'll say that. Poker. And the bonus words, if any of us say Thanksgiving, snuff, or film. Take a drink.
Beautiful.
Here. All right. If that's everything, then let's do some news, baby.
Woohoo!
It's the news. Yay.
Push one out.
You like that?
Today's news is sponsored by the books of Adam Caesar. Because today's lead story,
I thought it would be.
our pal, Adam Caesar's book, Clown in a Cornfield, is being adapted for an R-rated movie directed by Eli Craig, who did Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
For theatrical release next year.
Theatrical release. He was on Rebecca McKendry's podcast recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good
It's
for
the
him,
second
man.
time he's been on that. That boy is going places.
Yeah.
And a heck of a nice guy. And let me tell you, that guy's got an encyclopedia in his head for horror movies. I love, just in casual conversation, he will drop references to movies. And you're like, wow, I thought I knew what I was talking about. This guy just...
But you know what? When he's our age, he'll forget half of what's in his
Oh, yeah.
head at this moment. So
I
This is
watched
true.
something last night, and then this morning I was like, what did I watch last night?
why did I
I
get up?
think you've
Why am I
already
standing
seen
in this
too,
room?
probably. Congratulations, Adam.
Yeah, that's
I-
awesome news.
Good job.
I
Man.
felt like this was already announced. Maybe it was the option that I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
He's already got another movie that he wrote.
Maybe I'm just mixing those two up.
And he's got Clown in a Cornfield is now like a trilogy. So
Yeah.
he's- the great thing is, well, interesting thing is, he said on the podcast that the humor of Clown in a Cornfield kind of stops at the title, because I read the first one. I haven't gotten around to the other ones yet, but it's not a humorous book. It's
No.
a slasher book, YA slasher book. And if the Tucker versus Dale guy is doing this, they must be taking it and injecting some humor into it. I can't imagine.
Maybe.
That's a good point. I don't know.
With a name like that and going into theaters, I bet you it's going to be. But who knows?
I'm interested to see.
May 9th next year.
Oh, 2 days after my birthday.
Wow. Oh, okay, so they're cranking that out.
Oh, yeah.
Must mean
months,
it's
holy
already
shit.
working. They're already doing
Well,
it.
but the article that I saw had a picture. Is it from the movie?
I don't know. However, there is another movie that has a trailer that I just thought I'd mention because trailer rhymes with sailor. And if you guys are into these
I know what you're going to say.
new movies that are based on old properties, Popeye the Slayer Man is
Oh
out.
gosh.
The trailer's out.
Hell. Seriously.
The Steamboat Mickey one is on like Prime now. I haven't watched it, but
Unbelievable.
there's more
Popeye's in the
coming.
public domain? I didn't know that.
I guess so.
It's old. Papa's been around forever.
Yeah.
So that one's coming out sometime in 2025. But you can see the trailer now if you're interested.
I'm in the middle of making Betty Boop Killer Whore. So I hope you all support me on my Kickstarter campaign.
I love it. Analyze this. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, Betty boop. Next piece of news was quick news night, but
Good, let's go.
this will pertain to possibly next week's main feature. Coming to Peacock on December 6th is the Speak No Evil remake, which is on VOD right now for like $10.
I feel like I just finished watching the original.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
I'm not
so
watching
not
this.
interested in that. I wonder if they changed the ending.
They did. So my friend saw it. He said it's like the same movie for a while, and then it goes off. And so I don't know. I got Peacock, so either way, I'm going to watch it. when it
I
comes out.
actually have two people who I trust their opinion said it was actually pretty good. So who knows?
Yeah. I heard McAvoy's great in it, so we'll see. I'm happy to have not. I can wait for. I didn't need to see that in the theater.
I'll probably be sick for the holiday for like Christmas anyway, so I'll need something to watch.
But speaking of the theater, we're going to close the news with some good news if you're a theater goer. If you're looking for a little holiday cheer and you want to go see a movie, don't go see, what is it, Red One, new rock movie. Because on December 7th through December 22nd, you could go see the original Black Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome.
wait, why is that getting a re-release, but not the remake from 2019? That's ridiculous.
Or the one before it. That 2019.
Unbelievable.
I gotta tell you, I like Black Christmas. It's not like one that I'm not one of those people that watches it every year, but I enjoy it when I watch it. I think this would be a great one to see.
I do too.
Yeah.
By the way, December 7th, that's Pearl Harbor Day.
Sure is.
We're going down with the ship. We're going to the movies.
I
And Margot
love
Kidder's
Black
the best
Christmas.
character.
What chain is
It doesn't say.
okay?
So,
Hopefully one around here.
and then last, we're going to close with a little sad note that I got this one off of the wire of Hunter Shea's Twitter account.
Yeah.
Hunter, you want to tell us about the recent passing of?
Yeah, I mean, during the holidays, if you're planning and have a sleepover, and maybe you like to have a little pizza delivered and smoke a joint and just hang out with your girlfriend, homies, and your nighties, you don't have to be afraid of the driller killer because Russ Thorne, the killer from the Slumber Party Massacre, passed away.
Michael Villela.
Yeah,
Villela.
so he is no more. The most unassuming looking serial killer ever. I mean, he looked like a dude who does your taxes.
Yeah.
But multiple organ failure. But he was in his 80s, so
84.
I'd sign up
84
for
is not a
84.
bad run.
Nope. I'd sign up for
Slumber
60.
Party Massacre is a VHS cornerstone.
Hell yeah. One of my
Classic.
favorites.
And that, we'll give a moment of silence, tip of the cap, tip of the drill. And that's all the news that's fit to print.
Thanks, Jack.
Made feature, or new, whatever while we watched.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. Let's just go around.
Don't start with me. I only got one.
Okay. Then let's go Hunter.
All right. So last week, I'm going with really good horror titles. So last week, I brought you all Slave of the Cannibal God, an Italian 70s cannibal movie. This week, I am bringing you Castle of Bloody Lust,
Of course.
also known as Castle of the Creeping Flesh. This was on Tubi. Drink! This is a German movie from, I think, the 60s. It is so bizarrely amazing. You have to watch this with a group of friends who all get the insanity of horror movies, and you will have the best time of your life watching this movie. I don't think it was made for laughs, but man, it plays for laughs. It starts out with this group of people. They're in they're dressed in a period piece here, but it's in the time in the 60s, and they're having like this Austin Powers groovy party at this baron's estate. And they're drunks and like to F around with each other. And they they leave the baron's place and end up lost and in this castle. This guy in the middle, this guy is like he's the owner of the castle. He's also kind of like a Frankensteinish kind of doctor. And what they don't realize is his daughter has died, and he's trying to put her back together with pieces of other people. So he's very happy to admit them to his home, so they can maybe help him bring his daughter back to life. Here's the funny stuff in this. There's crazy nudity in this. If there's a woman, you're going to see everything. The soundtrack in this is mind blowing. There's a scene where this seductress, who I actually put this on because the thumbnail, I thought it was Ingrid Pitt, but it's another woman who looks just like her. But she seduces her sister's boyfriend to bang her, and the music they play is like Benny Hill music. So anytime there's like a moment of tension, here comes like the most inappropriate music ever. The director, anytime anyone said a line, probably said, "Cut, play it bigger." Like, you can't make a big enough, bizarre facial expression or say the words strangely enough where you just get probably go, "No, bigger, play it bigger." There's no nuance in this. The voiceover, the dubbing is, as Jack would say, chef's kiss. It's so terrible. None of the voices match. None of them look like they're coming out of their mouths. And just when you think you've hit the height of an oh, by the way, there's real surgery. So the surgeon is operating, but for like 45 minutes, they show close-ups of an actual operation of, it looks like an animal. Like, it's the cavity's pulled open. So, but there's a beating, throbbing thing. Nothing really ever gets done, but you have to keep seeing that. So that's the penance you pay. You have just gotten a little woody by seeing some nipples and maybe a little bit of the bush. Now you got to go see this beating heart thing. And then in the middle of it, a guy who rode off a half an hour ago, they cut to him at night by a cliff being attacked by a man in a bear suit. And then it just cuts away. It's amazing. Every part of this is amazing. It's so bad, it's fantastic.
Wow. Tubi Gold for sure, sounds like.
It's pure gold. Pure gold. I thought it was a Hammer movie too at first. I'm like, oh no, this isn't Hammer. So it's a German movie. So catch it on Tubi, Castle of the Creeping Flesh, or Castle of the Bloody Orgy, or it's got many, many names. It is worth the price.
I think there's a Hammer movie called The Creeping Flesh.
There is a Creeping Flesh movie, yes. So, but you need the castle for it to get really absurd. So that's a great, absurd.
What if we took The Creeping Flesh, put it in a castle?
Put it in a castle. Oh, and who's got a bear suit? Like a really bad bear suit? We're going to put that in there. That sounds cool. My nephew wants to be in the film, so we'll put him in the bear suit. So, right. Jason, you probably own that. You probably have.
There's a solid chance I have this.
Yeah. So run to Tubi. Put it on during Thanksgiving. Turn off the football game right at a pivotal moment. Everyone's excited to put this on.
Solid advice.
All right, 8mm. What's your one contribution?
The season finale of From happened, so I can talk a little bit more about the quality of this. There we go. I did not
spoilers.
Did not have time to get a movie in. So yeah, I figure I'll just start talking about the actual story here so I can ruin it for everybody. So my biggest concern with this show was that they keep adding...
Wait. Are you serious? You're gonna talk spoilers?
No, Jesus Christ, Chad. This is first time on the show here?
Chad was about to bail.
Yeah, well, I was, man.
My biggest problem with this show is that they keep adding more and more mystery in with each season.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I didn't know there was going to be mystery.
What? There's seasons?
Dang it.
So I was getting concerned that there weren't going to be answers. But starting with this season, well, actually, the beginning of the season is just more and more and more. But at the end, you're starting to get answers, and you're starting to get an idea of what in the hell is happening here. So I have a really good feeling, and I know it was just given season 4, just greenlit for season 4. So they haven't announced that's going to be it. But I have a feeling that that'll probably be the end of the show and it'll wrap everything, because it feels like we made a turn and we're heading down the final stretch here.
I heard they approved another season.
They did.
Sorry.
That would be season 4.
That's fine. Yeah, that would be season 4. This show is so freaking good. Everyone needs to watch it. It's amazing. And now I have to wait another year to see what the hell's happening.
So season 3 is over, right? Done.
Yes, season 3 ended Sunday.
So I can get MGM Plus and try to
get it and
cram
binge. It's
all 3
30 episodes. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Is this starting to feel a little like Lost?
No, but that was my concern. Is that's where it was going? This feels like, and things that happened 2 seasons ago are starting to tie in with things that are happening now. So it feels more planned. Whereas Lost was just like, we're just making more shit up and we don't know where the hell this is going. And
They were lost.
this feels like the opposite of that. So, like, they were talking about stuff in this episode today that I was like, oh yeah, like I completely forgot about that, but it actually does tie in with what's happening. So, phenomenal show, phenomenal writing. I freaking love this. I'm not going to stop talking about this until people actually give it a chance.
When's it on Tubi?
All right, Snuffleupagus.
Okay.
Uppaloopagus.
2 hours ago, I posted Beneath the Planet of the Apes up on Creepy Couch from 1970. I don't know if this is streaming anywhere. Probably. I got a DVD box set that I've watched really none of them except for
It was on
the
Hulu.
original.
All
Okay.
the Apes movies were on Hulu a couple of months ago. I know.
All right. Well, so if you want to see, I guess a funny commentary and a reaction over there, and see us confuse Charlton Heston with this other guy on here, then you can go over there and watch that. But this is like the Evil Dead 2 of Planet of the Apes, where it's like a remake and then it's not.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, because you get the same, like, more dudes crash on this planet. They're told not to, don't talk, and and they get captured and they get stripped of their clothes, and then there's a woman, the same woman. Charlton Heston is there too, and so, but you still get to see all this amazing makeup. Gosh, it was just so ahead of its time for the makeup.
Yeah.
Which movie is this?
Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Did you have this on your list? Did I grab the wrong month? Wrong week?
No, he's got it on the list.
I put it on the list.
He even
yeah, I
put the
didn't-
date, the year.
I grabbed some.
I put the date. I think.
You did.
But it's probably my fault, Jason, because I don't think I posted on the list until like 7 o'clock, 6:30.
I know, because I texted you at 6:30 saying I needed your list.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's the most. Okay, I didn't get it.
It's usually my job to give Jason the list at the last minute.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I grabbed, but maybe I grabbed from last year. I don't know what the hell I did.
So anyway, we find out that there's like this what appears to be some kind of illusion of a wall of fire and other natural disasters, if that's a natural disaster, like lightning storms and earthquakes, and something strange is going on in the Forbidden Zone. And Dr. Zaius and General Ursus want to find out just exactly what's going on, because they think that the land is inhabited. And if it is, by golly, they need to strip humans of their clothes and put them in cages and whoop them and throw nets on them all day, because that's what they do for a hobby. I love these movies. I love the message behind them. I don't really see the apes as being like the antagonist. I know that Dr. Zaius is supposed to be the main antagonist. I don't see him as that either. He was merely trying to save his race by not having them repeat what the humans did before them.
Yeah, they're just
Even though-
images of humans.
Even though they're after Rock or two, and they're just as violent, and they're going to end all of this the same way anyway. So it's a vicious cycle. But this deals with an underground cult in the subway that's buried, and the cult gets a little. They got some mind control stuff and some other stuff they do.
Let's say this is the Friday the 13th
pretty
part
cool.
7 of ape movies. Where you go, what the fuck? What is going on here?
I've got nothing to compare it to as far as the other movies, because I've only seen the original and I've only seen the remake. I've always been a huge fan of the original, so looking forward to. I'm like a completist, so I want to get through these before I see any of the new ones. I've seen trailers and stuff, and they look so amazing. But I think I want
loved
to
all these
watch.
originals.
Yeah,
The
so do
last
I.
one is
And-
the worst. Like the fifth one is not good. What was the fifth one? Do you remember, Jack?
The
Conquest?
fifth one was Battle.
Battle.
I'll
yeah.
probably like it anyway, just for the nostalgia. But and of
That
course,
one
I've
had
seen
no budget.
Oof.
I've seen
That was
the
rough.
the TV show recently that they squished into movies that Jack had turned us all
Yeah.
onto. So, yeah, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Maybe it's still on Hulu. If not,
You've
grab
got
the
two very interesting ones coming up then, because the
Ricardo Montalban.
Ricardo Montalban
Part
one's
three.
really good, and then the one with the one that's
Caesar.
like with all the uniforms and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
Caesar,
apes being
that
turned
one's
into
really-
servants.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's good too.
All right.
You have absolutely plowed through new horror movies since you announced you were going to. It's your streak is impressive.
He's going back to sci-fi, old sci-fi.
You're like, man, I got to focus on new movies.
It's not
Haven't
new
watched
and
the
it's
one.
not horror.
It's hard. It's hard. Well, yeah, it's hard when you don't have. But yeah, it's not horror. But I knew that you guys would appreciate it, especially the
Yeah.
older folks.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's just funny because you like made an announcement about like I got to watch new shit.
Hey, I've watched like 6 of them, but it's hard to when there's not a lot of good stuff out there, and you just keep getting let down.
Dude, my list is so full. I'm going to be kicking so much good shit off my list.
Oh, jeez.
Well, speaking of new stuff, I went to the theater and probably saw the last showing of Smile 2.
Oh,
Oh, I wanted to catch this and I didn't get a chance.
It's on pay-per-view, but I think it's like $19 right now.
we were talking at home about that. And we're like, we would all go to the movies and spend maybe $50 to $100, depending if we ate. Said $20 is nothing, so we're probably just going to rent it.
Well, there's a lot to like about this movie. Naomi Scott plays Sky Riley, who is a kind of Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa kind of pop star. And this movie kind of takes place right after the first one, which I remember broad strokes of the first one, but I did not like refresh my memory or anything before going into this. So they don't super recap the first one, but you kind of can roll with it because you don't really need to. You kind of get everything you need to know anyway. But she's a pop star and she's getting over some injuries from something that happened to her, and she's getting back in game shape to go back out on the road. And then kind of this smile thing starts to inject into her life. So it's her dealing with it and that whole kind of descent into madness kind of thing that happens with Smile movies. Naomi Scott, who she was in the remake of the latest Charlie's Angels movie, and she was the Pink Ranger in the Power Rangers. Oh, you know what? She was in the Aladdin live action, which I didn't see.
Do you remember what show you're on right now?
Can you name
Have
anything?
any of us seen any of those?
Would
I'm
we?
throwing out some stuff. Anyway, I didn't know when I was watching it. I didn't know that I had seen her in anything else before. She's phenomenal in this, and she can actually sing. So when you compare this to like Trap, her chops as a rock star are like night and day. Like she's
Ooh.
Is
real
the
deal.
writing as good as
Yeah.
Trap?
Nothing can touch that. But I think if you like
Chad, you're muted.
if you like the smile thing, you're going to get more of what you like. It's over 2 hours, so I felt like it didn't need to be that long. And I
Over
also
2
thought
hours.
it also it gets very over the top at the end, so I was kind of rolling my eyes at that. So I like the first one, but I didn't like love it. So I definitely an enjoyable movie, but kind of turn off your brain and just kick back and enjoy it kind of movie.
My brain's always turned off. So
Is this a trend? The pop star horror movie?
it's the year of the nun.
Yeah,
And the year of pop star.
religious and pop star. This is if you're gonna watch one pop star rock movie, this would be the horror movie. It would
Tell
be
us
this one.
about Nicholson's kid.
He is not in it as much as you'd think for somebody who's on like the movie poster.
Well,
Nicholson's
that's how you bring
kid?
'em in.
Yeah,
Jack
Nicholson's
Nicholson?
son has a small part in it.
Oh.
But this girl, Naomi Scott, carries this movie, and she's like in every scene and is outstanding. It's worth it to see her performance alone.
Good.
Definitely a fun movie. I had more nitpicks with it because like it's a big studio horror movie. So
Yeah, but Smile was too, and man, that was my biggest surprise of the year when it came out.
I liked Smile
biggest
a lot.
surprise, but like I didn't like I don't need to run back and watch.
Didn't blow your
Smile.
balls off. I get it.
I enjoyed it, but same thing with this. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of jump scares and things like that. A lot of clever stuff that they do. So I had a good time. So
Okay.
check it
By
out,
the
but
way-
like, be ready for some over the top silliness.
Ring the bell, Jack.
Got a super chat from Crunchy Beaver. Finally caught you guys live. Sort of behind by about 15 minutes for a change. Keep up the great work, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy
And if you go
Thanksgiving.
down,
All right.
Beaver,
Everything-
go see a
everybody-
doctor when you're done.
Nice, Beaver.
Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that.
All right, Hunter.
All right, I went back to Tubi because one of my editors suggested this movie to me. I think one of you saw this. I'm thinking Jason. It came out in 2018, The Domestics, starring, oh God, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Anyway, it's a post-apocalyptic movie about this couple. It's something.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
I
now,
thought
yeah.
you saw this. Bosworth, Kate Bosworth, she's in it. She's the star. So they don't tell you what country, what entity has attacked America with this black gas that murdered everyone and everything except those who had some immunity to it. So there's actually quite a few people left. And it has become literally, it's Mad Max world in America, because the world is, the Midwest at least, is divided into gangs, like the Sheets and the Gamblers and stuff, and they look like characters right out of the Road Warrior. So this clean young couple, you can tell the clean people are good, the dirty people are bad. To save their marriage, they are traveling from wherever to get to Milwaukee so she can be with her parents, who have not answered them on their CB radio for God knows how long, but he's going to do what he can. And along the way, they encounter all these different gangs and weirdos. This movie's a blast. I don't know how this flew under my radar. I was surprised by how much I got sucked into this, because it just goes from one absurd thing to another. And you just, like you said, Jack, you turn off your brain and you just enjoy, because there are things that this couple does that you want to strangle them. You're like, oh, people are out to kill you? Well, maybe when you're trying to lay low, you shouldn't take this high-powered gun outside and just start firing shit off just to practice. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't go with random strangers who offer you dinner.
Did you see Civil War?
Decide. Yeah,
This sounds like a silly version of Civil War.
this was definitely it. If Civil War went really sideways, we end up like this. So Civil War is the prequel, as you may say, Jason, to The Domestics. And the music's really good in it. There's a DJ that runs through the movie, and he's playing like good 50s music, if you like 50s soundtracks. But yeah, this is way more fun than it should be.
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to check this out this weekend. It's on Prime or Tubi. What'd you say?
Tubi. It's a great little discovery, man. Again, don't know why I didn't see this back in
Bad title.
2018. I know. I thought it was going to be about maids.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you said the title, and I was like,
Although it is my favorite kind of violence, so.
So yeah,
never
check
heard
it
of
out.
All right, so Jason's done, right?
tapped.
Yep.
All right, let's keep. What do you got?
Okay. Over on Tubi from 1984, I watched Barbara Crampton's very first movie, a unheard of gem called Body Double. That I had no idea she was in this movie.
I didn't know she was in Body Double.
Yeah, isn't
me
that
neither.
the director?
De Palma?
Yeah, De Palma.
Yeah, who did some gold and stuff in the.
Oh, this is the
70s,
De
80s.
Palma body double.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
With Melanie Griffith. Yeah. I've seen this before, in the 80s. I love this movie. I love the soundtrack, the locations. There's some quirkiness that's kind of lovable in here, but the movie poster, it's just cool, man. It's a great 80s movie. I don't know if it would hold up for somebody younger, but much younger.
Yeah.
You might find it a little predictable, or maybe some of the makeup bad, but I really like it. It's about a down on his luck. I can't remember his name, but down on luck his luck actor who just lost his acting gig playing a vampire in a low budget horror movie. And then he walks in after that on his woman, Barbara Crampton, getting it on fully nude with some other dude in his bed.
Barbara Crampton got naked in a movie?
Yeah.
What?
Yep, her first movie. Yep.
Main feature next week.
Let's pause the movie right there. Pause the show.
Anyway, so this guy befriends another dude in LA who said he can crash at his place for a while because he's like house sitting for somebody. And so, if you're looking for, what's that called? Subletting or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're looking to sublet, let's do that. So I'll be out of the country. Can't remember where he's going. So they agree, and he shows them this spaceship-shaped house on top of a hill that overlooks LA.
That's like Jackie Gleason's house.
Outside Gleason had a house like that in New York.
It's a cool house, man. And there's a house like that in Colorado too that I've seen. And he shows them this telescope that's pointed always at this neighbor's house, like across the way, where a woman does this very erotic striptease every night at the same time. So he's like, "Here you go, check it out. I'm out of here." So this wanders into Hitchcock's Rear Window territory, and I'll stop there because I don't want to ruin an otherwise really good movie.
Every De Palma movie ends up in Hitchcock land.
Yeah, I would imagine. But I know that, Jason, I don't know if you've seen this, but I know that okay. Do you like this one too?
It's not one of my favorite De Palmas. It's okay. It's
Did you like Dress to Kill?
I like Dress to Kill a lot.
Man, I haven't seen it in so long. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, he did some great stuff, man.
I'm a De Palma fan. This is just on my list of his. This is definitely on the lower end.
All right.
My dad loved Body Double. I think he jerked off
so did
to it.
mine.
Or maybe I'm mixing it up with.
He turned me onto it. Yeah, good movie.
All right.
Good crime movie.
Crima.
Well, I went back to 1980. Saw a movie that Jason saw a while back, described it, and I was like, oh my God, I got to see that. And then it popped up on Prime. I'm talking about Beyond Evil with John Saxon and Linda Day George.
What a cast.
Wait,
And it's got a great thumbnail cover of a woman and green lasers are coming out of her eyes.
Oh, I've seen that. Not the movie. I've seen that thumbnail.
What? Why is this not ringing a bell for me?
So this is John Saxon and Linda Day George are married, and they I forget where the heck they go to some island country where their friend is to move into this mansion that's haunted. And it's haunted by this the former owner's wife, who's like this ghost witch thing, who can shoot green lasers out of her eyes awesomely like that. And the ghost witch tries to possess Linda J. George, and all kinds of just goofy stuff happens in this movie. Actually,
wait, can you go back, Jason, to the other previous image? Oh, I thought that was the guy in the white coat.
It's like Zombie.
Haunted. Yeah.
that guy's a healer that lives nearby. The couple of great things about this movie: John Saxon plays every movie he's in dead serious, even if the most ridiculous stuff is going on.
I love him. Yeah,
he is just there, and the most ridiculous thing is happening in front of him, and he's straight faced and talking about it. That man earns his paycheck every time, and he's just a man's man. Linda Day George, Christopher George's wife, she was like Miss America or something like that.
Her hair.
Yeah. Just, I mean, not a ton happens, but enough goofy stuff happens throughout this movie that it's just a schlock fest.
it looks great.
Yeah, that green stuff coming out of her eyes.
If you see this thumbnail and you're like, oh my God, and you hear John Saxon, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you're not, I'm not saying this is what you might say is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
I did not see this John Saxon movie about stupid evil shit. I saw a different one. So I think
all right.
he maybe did a lot of these.
Really? Because I thought you said specifically him and Linda Day George.
I don't think so.
I don't think
no.
Jason's ever said Linda, Day, and George in the same sentence.
I got to be honest with you. I went back on the list and it's there like 2 years ago.
Beyond Evil?
Yeah.
Yeah. He drinks.
Dude, I'm looking at these images. I don't recognize this shit at all.
because your brain is wiped.
Are
with
are
all
there
this
two
crap
movies
you
called
watch.
Beyond Evil?
There probably is. But how many would have these two?
Not possible.
Because when I watched it, I was like, wait a minute, this has to be the one Jason talked about. So I went back and looked on the list, and I think it was like.
Does
2
it have
years
another name? Because I thought I'd seen it, but not by that name.
that I don't know.
This
Welcome
is
to my
blowing
world.
mind.
I'll
I
read a
watched
book.
a lot during 2020 that I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of them.
I will read a book and get to like 20 pages left and go, I read this already. 300 pages in. Oh, I read this before.
I mean, I don't. Not a single image in that looks familiar to me. That is wild.
Not sure.
Well, then check it out. You might want to use this for your show.
I could definitely watch this again. It would be the first time.
Yep. That's so funny.
Is that everything, fellas?
I got one more that I will
Alright.
touch on briefly. I'm just here because a couple of you guys have saw it. I thought I'd split the side with probably. I saw It's What's Inside,
Ah,
and I know that Jason and Jack have seen it. It's not a horror movie. It's barely horror adjacent, but when I look at the list of the movies that we watched as a main feature, if I can't put on this list that movie, then we can't put on what was that teeny bopper Frankenstein thing?
Lisa Frankenstein?
Lisa Frankenstein or
who the hell would put
Beetle-
Lisa Frankenstein on their list?
Beetlejuice. It was a main feature. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I really like this movie. I love this movie. I thought it was great. As soon as I got done watching it, my wife didn't watch it. She was doing something else. I was like, man, I wish you would have watched this with me. I need to talk to somebody about this. And she's like, well, what is it? And I was like, I told her, and she goes, I'll go watch it right now. So she went and watched it, and then we ended up talking about it. But great movie. Jason, I understand what you're saying about the editing with the speedy camera and stuff, particularly
Yeah,
toward
the direction. Really
first,
drove me nuts.
first half hour of the movie, maybe. It only distracted me because I was looking for it because of what you said. I don't know that it would have bugged me as much if I wouldn't have, if I just turned it on and was watching it. But it didn't really bug me. Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat who's off the rocker said it was the worst
White faces. Vanilla
worst
faces.
worst movie ever. So I don't know what they're smoking, but
Yeah, I didn't
You
hate
get
it. I just
if you get a chance to see It's What's Inside, it's a freaking great movie. It's very cool, but you have got to pay attention. You
Yes.
cannot turn your brain off. You were going to get lost.
and also
Even-
don't
even-
let people tell you it's horror. It is not. That somebody told me it was horror. That's why I watched it.
Even if they do help you with changing the color of the screen and stuff like that, and the Polaroids, but still, so you can get lost if you don't pay attention. So, yeah, great. I'm glad I saw it. Good one.
All right.
I'm the last one left who's got to watch this thing.
Well, there was a movie we all watched. It was called Red Rooms. So, Jason, if you're ready,
I am ready.
please take us to tonight's main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay. This is Red Rooms, a French-Canadian movie that is subtitled.
Because
It's
it's
about-
French.
It's sort of about people's obsession with true crime, and it's about a trial of a person accused of being a serial killer with a lot of evidence against him, but nothing, all circumstantial. But there are some kind of snuff films that have been recorded on the internet for what they call red rooms on the dark web, where people pay to watch this kind of stuff. This is another one of those urban legends like snuff films that may or may not exist, but they live in legend. And this is kind of focuses on a woman who is following and attending the trial. And it kind of follows her journey through this and another person that kind of joins up with her.
A party woman.
A model / online gambler. I'm going to quickly start and say I suggested this movie because I saw it, and I think this is a great movie. It's dark as hell. It's kind of slow at parts, and you got to pay attention. I thought the payoff was amazing, and it's I think one of my favorite movies of the year. So I'm going to leave it at that and see if you guys think I'm crazy or if you're in. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. So I watched this Sunday night, so that way I can't forget stuff.
Good call.
It's like Saturday. It's iffy. I will contend that this is not a horror movie in any way, shape, or form.
I was waiting for Jason to say that, and I disagree with you.
I don't believe Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie. It has horrific elements, but I don't think it's a horror movie. But that's okay. I think this is horror adjacent enough to be sticky, so we could talk about it on the show. I think the execution of this is amazing. I do have a problem. It's in French, and they're putting all the subtitles of white subtitles set in a stark white courtroom. I'm like, you really have got to be kidding me. Performances are great. This is the second movie where our protagonist is a female version of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. So we have long legs in this. You've got these two female protagonists who are just definitely spectrum folks. I thought this movie was fascinating. I couldn't tell where the hell it was going and what was going on in it. And I think in the end, maybe I had some issues with it. Could have given us a little more meat on the potato before you jump to where it went. But it didn't matter. I was just watching this movie in dead silence, barely moving, which is hard for me, especially lately. I thought it was really good. It's not going to be my favorite movie of the year, but I thought it was really, really good.
All right, let's go up to Jason.
Is this a horror movie question? I see what you're saying. I guess it didn't really occur to me just based on subject matter alone. Like, it's really like, do you see stuff in this? No. Is everything they talk about absolutely horrible? Yes. So like it hadn't occurred to me till you said that. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
It's like every podcast and Netflix show watched by middle-aged women in America.
I feel like they're saying something about true crime in this.
Oh, they
at
are.
least to a degree. I freaking loved this movie. I think this has probably the most complex character in a movie I've seen this year.
Yeah.
Where I didn't know what the hell her deal was the whole movie. I at the beginning I was like, oh, I think I know where this is going, and I'm like, yeah, nope, total shift, and I'm like, okay, wait, I think I got it now. And until you get to the end, I'm like, I had no clue where this was going.
She gives nothing away.
Yeah, carried almost entirely by one woman's mostly silent performance, which is very interesting.
Yep.
I loved it. I could see a lot of people not liking this. It's talky, and then it's quiet. And then there's talking, and then it's quiet. But I was all in, and trying to figure out what the hell was going on with this main character was just fascinating to me. So I went into it thinking, oh, a 2-hour subtitled movie. I can't wait to punch Jack in the face. And I was like, you know what? That was a good watch.
Yep.
Danny perhaps called this or asked psychological horror, and I would agree with that. I think subject matter, the visceral response you have to hearing things is pure horror. So while I can see it's on the fringe, it's not your Friday the 13th or Smile 2. But
I think you could, for me, you could put it in the horror bucket if you see the kills. But this is just, it's a horror podcast come to life, which is fascinating as hell.
But you got the word horror in there, so.
There you go.
I'm probably gonna put this on my list. I think I like psychological horror. I think that fits.
It's on my list
at the moment.
for sure.
All right, let's see what Chad's got to say.
Just to split a few more hairs, just because we have another category that we can throw this in, which is thriller, doesn't mean, like, if you think of anything that might truly scare you, or a lot of people are frightened of true crime, but that's part of the reason why they read it and stuff. It's something that keeps people up at night, much more horrifying than most horror movies. So if it weren't for the thriller genre, if that didn't have a title, I feel like, yeah, this would just automatically be in there. But that being said,
You know, it's funny, even you saying that, there are like no thrills in the movie as far as like a thriller goes.
No,
it's a hard movie to categorize. Like visually, nothing happens in this. It's kind of interesting.
When we get the spoilers, we'll talk a little bit about that more.
It's weird that man, sometimes I really think that I can tell what everybody's going to say. Usually we disagree on. We usually don't disagree. Usually when we disagree on a movie that's this well made, it's because I'm the one who likes it and you guys don't. And this like seems to
Pinkies up when we drink, Chad.
flipped. And,
Typically, it's me who only likes the good movies.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, these pieces are garbage.
But I did have a hard time with this. I will preface the rest of my review by saying that I watched this way late in today, and I'm like, okay, cool. I've got to watch this movie real quick. I was watching another movie, a 2024 movie, Jason.
Whoa!
And I was like, I'll watch this later. Well, I didn't have time because I didn't know this was a 2-hour movie, and so I put it on. I was like, cool. I can probably watch this movie and maybe clean my office or maybe like. Just kind of relax and stuff. Nope, I have to stare and make sure that my eyeballs are on the screen during every moment. So that had some things going against it. I don't mind subtitles, but sometimes you're just you're not in the.
Just give me subtitles that stand out. Don't make me have to.
I felt like
squint.
I felt like there were some times where it felt like 2 to 3 different directors filming this. You had your really long scene at the beginning that was super impressive. The first courtroom scene was all one take, and then you had like that really cool intense scene with the metal detector and the braces and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Best scene in the movie, I think. But two completely different styles, and it bounced around like that a couple times. For me, I just felt like it was a really super long-winded way of saying guilty or not guilty, because it lingered way too long on things I think that they were probably trying to make intense, particularly like toward the end with the screen, the computer, and it just did not do that for me. It sounds like maybe it did for you guys, but
the computer stuff, if that's what you're talking about, that was to me the most riveting part of the movie.
Yeah. No,
That's interesting. The guilty or not guilty thing, I don't even think that is important to the movie at all.
No.
What I mean is, no, and I agree. What I just mean is that that's the beginning and the end. That's the alpha and the omega of this movie, is like, it's surrounding a trial, whether you're finding out if this guy's really guilty or not. And I think that I'd be willing to bet that this is inspired by that story behind that documentary Don't F with Cats, where the sleuths bust that serial killer who posts the stuff online in real life. It was a lot like this. So it was okay. I was very bored many times. But it was exceptionally well done, for sure. The acting was great. The sound design, when they did use it, was great. And it had some intense scenes that I thought were, even if I didn't quite understand them.
That shocks me, man. A slow-paced movie with a crazy main character, and you don't like it.
I know,
right? I know.
I did not see that coming.
I thought Jason would be the one fighting me on. This wasn't a horror movie, and I thought you'd be like, "Oh, this is right in my wheel."
You know what? called it for Chad because even though it's mostly on this one character, there's really not much character development. So I thought Chad might not connect with her.
It wasn't
and her
that.
motivations.
I don't.
That was just what I was thinking watching it.
Well, I saw this movie like 2 weeks ago and sat on it because I wanted to do it as a main feature. So I've had time to think about this movie, and part of my rating on this movie is that I have not stopped thinking about this movie since I saw it, and that ending for me was so out of left field and wow. We can talk about it in spoilers. That that movie is a slow burn, and then some stuff happens that I'm like, okay, this was worth the percolation. The coffee at the end was worth the percolation. So, like I said, this is on my list. I get it that it's like Strange Darling's another one that it's a horror movie with a lot of other slashes / thriller / this / that, but it's in the Venn diagram somewhere. And people who like genre stuff like us. So, and I just I can't stop thinking about this movie, and the more I think about it, the like higher it's creeping on my list.
This is definitely on my list. I don't know where, but yeah.
I
was really tired when I sat down to watch this too. So it was like a 2-hour subtitled movie in French when I'm exhausted. This is going to be great. And then I was sitting straight up about 20 minutes in, like, what the hell? It was actually that long shot in the courtroom. I was like, oh, there's some filmmaking going on here. Because there was so much dialogue from so many different actors. Like, how many times did that get screwed up?
Yeah.
You know? And at the beginning, you hear somebody coughing loudly. And I remembered thinking, why is that in the movie? Probably because an extra coughed loudly during a long take. And they were like, we're not doing it again.
Although, when you think about it, I know a lot of times when we see in the movie, they do like a long take and we're like, oh my God. But I'm like, people on Broadway do this every day, 8 times a week.
Yeah.
Where they do
It's true, but you don't have cameramen who can screw shit up.
No, I know.
That's guy.
The hard part is, the behind the scenes part. The easy part
the technical.
Is the talking, the acting part.
I think if you were to cut a half hour out of this movie, I would appreciate it much, much more.
And you're going to say that after Smile 2.
This trend of horror movies getting longer and longer is chapping my ass. It needs to stop.
Yeah. We're going to get 3-hour horror movies before you know it. Oh, no. Didn't we have Terrifier 2? Wasn't that 3 hours?
Yeah. Should we hit spoilers?
Let's go.
Do this.
Okay. Spoiler alert.
Can you guys answer me why the whole my favorite scene, the schoolgirl thing, why did she do that? Just to trigger him?
Yes.
I think to get a reaction out of him.
Yeah, because he just sat there just emotionless for the entire trial. I think she wanted to get in his head.
And she also seemed to like to torture the mother.
She liked to torture everybody. She flat out said it when talking about how she plays cards.
Yeah.
That she likes to find the weakest person and just completely drain them and wreck them. And she was doing that to all the characters she interacted with. So I think she wanted to see if that dude was guilty by getting a reaction out of him. But 2, I think she wanted to fuck with everybody. She got a really perverse pleasure out of wrecking people emotionally.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. She dresses up like the third victim.
Britney Spears in an old video.
Mm-hmm. She's like dressed like the schoolgirl whose video hasn't been found. Goes to the courtroom, unveils herself, puts the braces in and everything. Slowly, the parents kind of turn and like, what the hell is this?
That's so screwed up. Yeah.
That scene was magnificent. And then
Killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Stone-faced guy on trial looks up and like smiles at her.
And
there's
waves
like
goodbye.
this scream in the soundtrack when that is happening. That was just money.
Yeah.
Then she's bidding on the final Red Room tape. And she's like playing online poker. And she's about to lose the bid, but then she hits a big win.
She's got to win at least 20-something Bitcoins, she thinks, to win the auction for a snuff.
So she wins it. And then she brings the other girl who's a groupie, who's like has a crush on the guy and thinks he's innocent. And she's like, here, watch this. He's guilty. And that's when they watch the movie and you see the girl crying and all
she
that.
has no reaction, by the way. She's
Wait,
inside.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the main character watching it, not the side.
The other girl's crying and the main characters.
Well, no, the other girl didn't see the movie she bought with the Bitcoin.
No, she saw the other two.
That was earlier in the movie.
Oh, I thought
He's
saw
talking
the last
about-
one.
The last movie is just the girl by herself.
Oh, okay. I got it 2 weeks ago. Okay,
still.
so she watched that. Now, there's this whole thing about is she being tracked? Because she takes her little AI and throws it in the blender.
Yeah.
But then she hacks her way, because she's a good hacker, into the mother's house and leaves the thumb drive, takes a selfie of herself in the schoolgirl outfit.
In the bedroom. The kid's bedroom.
In the bedroom, and then leaves. And I'm watching it going, so then the guy is without a doubt guilty, goes just like, so she's a hero in that she, brings closure to this. And she's also the worst human on earth, leaving this on the mother's counter.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think, was she good before this obsession started, and now has she lost her soul to the obsession?
I don't
over
think
this
so,
crime?
dude. I think
Or
this
was she
girl
always
is
like this?
fucked up. She's fucked up from the beginning of the movie.
Well, she gives up her whole modeling career by doing that stunt. So she's definitely messed up.
Yeah,
and
she's so involved. She's sleeping in a nasty alleyway every night just to.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She's seen, because her life is really pretty good. It all unravels the deeper she gets in here. So I think she was more controlled before then. But she's
you're right. She describes how she plays cards again, which describes her emotional state of just being calm, don't get involved, don't get emotionally involved. But that's what happens to her throughout the movie.
Yes.
So that scene where she's talking about how she plays cards with that crazy chick kind of explains most of the movie.
Yeah. And that crazy chick's
great,
eyes
right?
are going to haunt me forever. Oh my God. I thought they were going to fall right out of her head at points.
The way
Which
she breaks
which
that
one?
girl emotionally is brutal.
Are you talking about the little girl that looked just like freaking Mick Jagger when Mick was like 12 years old?
Yes.
If he had Graves' disease.
Do you know Garfunkel and Oates? The
Oh
singing group?
yeah. The girls
that little girl from Garfunkel and Oates. She was on Big Bang Theory.
a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She looks like her.
I think I'm just going to call her Mimi Jagger. I like that.
Mimi Jagger.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, that scene in the courtroom where she puts on the outfit and the way she puts the braces in, I was like, oh my God, this movie.
That was messed
Yeah,
up.
that whole scene from her walking in the courtroom, going through the music that they had, slow-mo, all that stuff. It was just like, I was like, where's this been the whole movie? And then, like you said, that scream, all the sound is just phenomenal through that whole scene.
When she tricks that girl into watching the snuff film, and then she's getting ready to start it, the next one, and the girl's like, no, don't. And she starts it anyway. I'm like, oh my God.
That was her way to get rid of her.
That's her way to fuck with her emotionally.
Yeah,
It's what she
because
did to everybody.
She wanted nothing to do with the girl. The girl kind of pushed her way in a little bit, and then she was like, okay, here, I'll take you out to do some paddleball, and we'll have a good time together. Now you're fucked.
There also though was a moment where you have a friend who believes something that you know is bullshit, and you're like, oh, I wish I had the thumb drive that I could be like, no, you idiot, look.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that she locked eyes with in the courtroom? I don't. That never.
Oh,
came
yeah.
alive. He was there.
The
often.
lawyer guy or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't explain that. I don't know if she was just getting worried that she was being tracked because she'd found those videos and was doing the shit she shouldn't be doing, or if they were on to her about something, because she gets a call from her agency saying she lost a gig, but at that point she hadn't done anything publicly yet that we were like, what?
She did. She got walked out of the courtroom, and someone
TV
snapped a picture of her, so she was like in the limelight, because the whole nation
why are
was
you
talking
there?
about, or the whole world was talking about the.
So that's what it was, just that picture.
Yeah, they found
That's
out
all
that
it
she
takes.
was.
Hadn't she
surrounding
been
herself with
interviewed
this case.
before that though? Like at the very beginning of the movie, on the first day, she walked out and got interviewed, didn't she?
She did.
It Yeah,
Maybe
it
it was
may
the
have been
fact
one of
that
those
it
things
wasn't
where
just a
the picture
one-time
was
thing.
enough to tell us that she had been caught. Because the flash went off in her face.
I remember that. Yeah.
That the next scene was her getting the call that they canceled.
Huh. Yeah, she was interviewed by the news at the beginning of the movie, so I didn't think being at the trial was a problem.
So the relationship between the two girls was also kind of a interesting journey because she comes, takes her under her wing, lets her live with her, and then she just like crushes her soul.
I love relationships like that, platonic relationships, especially like in age, like Harold and Maude, or the Leon the Professional, and this had that too. Not so much the age, but
no, that girl grew up very quickly living with our main character.
I'm going home. See you later.
When she's walking away, you hear her throw the racket in the dumpster. Like,
yeah.
She went from being this innocent weirdo to like hard boiled in 20 minutes of movie.
But hopefully she got smarter, and stopped being such a naive schmuck.
I would say that probably did it. And you're right about there not being a lot of character development, except for her. I feel like this movie is about trying to figure out who the main character is. Like, what is her doing? And then she does get emotionally involved, so she does devolve in that way. But
yeah,
like at the beginning, I thought she was maybe a victim of this guy. So she was, or like he'd abused her or something like that, or she had been abused by something similar. And then about a third of the way through the movie, I thought, oh, she's the actual killer and has set this dude up. Because they even said, oh, you have the same looking eyes and you're tall. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then I could have never predicted what was going to happen at the end. That was disturbing.
By the way, maybe there's a possibility the way she can manipulate people, she manipulated that guy into doing the killing. It's just a thought.
I mean, maybe.
Put it out there on a chat room. Anyone wants to delve into
Head on the dark web and float that one.
That's for the sequel.
I thought the computer stuff they put in it was, for being a Hollywood movie, they did an okay job making it believable.
I couldn't read. I mean, everything was in a foreign language. But
just using Tor, using Bitcoin, stuff like that.
I wonder what I was missing from having to read subtitles and not being able to really pick out the nuance of some of the dialogue. Like, had this been in English.
Plus, they weren't translating what was on the screen. So it's sometimes I'm like, what the hell is she looking at?
Oh yeah, on the screen, on the computer screen.
Yeah. But now I want to use DuckDuckGo because she was using that.
That's right. She did use that. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid choice, Jack. I dug it a lot.
Yeah. It was good. It's on my list. I now have 10 movies on my list.
Chad, I'm 50-50 with you tonight.
Yeah.
That's more than usual.
So we'll figure out. Sounds like Chad doesn't have Peacock, so maybe we're not doing Speak No Evil next week. So we'll figure something out.
Yeah, whatever. We could always do Phantasm Part 4.
I just have no interest in Speak No Evil, even though the first one was good. I was just so bleak. I was like, I don't want to watch that shit again.
That's fine.
Plus, it's I mean, we just watched it last year, the original, and it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to watch Let Me In, the remake of Let the Right One In. I was like, why the hell? I don't give a shit about this. And
I haven't seen that.
It was pretty good.
It was. Whatever. We'll fight it over.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned toward our socials, and
Don't forget, we still got Daddy's Head, and I think there's another new Shudder one.
Oh, please, more. Please.
When does Nosferatu come out?
Like Christmas.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know.
I am all over. Did you see the popcorn, the sarcophagus popcorn bucket?
Yeah.
No.
It's Regal Cinemas. It's not one near me. I gotta.
Oh, and by the way, the movie Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, is on Netflix. So if you want to watch a little horror movie for the season, after you watch Peanuts, which Jason won't watch.
Correct.
Then
do you guys know when the creep tapes are done? Is it one per week?
There's 6 episodes and there's 3 out now.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a ways to go.
Yeah. Mid-December. We'll let you know.
All right. Well, everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us, and see you next week. Stay
Happy
red.
Thanksgiving.
See ya.
Game over,